So Iowa Democrats may not be excited about the governor's national speech Tuesday, but it is significant.
It is a big deal that to give the State of the Union response, but it's really an unfortunate reward that Governor Reynolds is getting from D.C. Republicans because they just agree with her agenda of selling out working families and Iowa families to corporate greed. I mean, what we've seen from this governor since she's taken office, and really in the decade that she's either been lieutenant governor or governor, is just a complete shift away from prioritizing what Iowa families need and instead just one giveaway after another for corporations and the wealthiest. And this legislative session's tax debate is just the latest example where she's proposing this flat tax, which is patently unfair and would just be a sucking of dollars from the working class, from working families to the richest and most wealthy Iowans who fund her campaigns.
Okay, so when you look at election results, when you look at poll results, though, people are rewarding Republicans for their policies.
Well, I mean, obviously she's been reelected, but if you look at the last two exit polls that were conducted by Public Policy Polling, and we commissioned these surveys, but they were done by Public Policy Polling. We specifically asked people, would you rather have a few $100s more in a tax break, or would you rather see that money be spent on public services like education, clean water, health care? And by wide margins, people would rather invest in each other because that's what we believe in. Where Iowans work hard, we're good neighbors, we want to be part of a community, and that's where we want to see those dollars invested. And that is not what the governor and the Republicans in the legislature are promoting.
Your organization counts about 75,000 people across this state. What do you see as your role? Let's talk first of all just about this legislative session where Republicans control everything, right? So
sure.
About 6 out of every 10 seats over there a Republican has because of all the wins they've been having on election day. So what role do you see your group having in influencing policy here?
Well, our role is to help connect people with their elected officials. Our role is to help create a better a way for people to have their voice heard. So we organize around the state. We held 6 or 7 different events leading up to the legislative session. We called it the People's Condition of the State. We worked with a number of different organizations where we partnered with them locally, found local spokespeople to advocate for, to stand up for what they believe in for their public schools, for health care, clean water, issues that we've already talked about here. But so our role is to help give people and organizations around the state the tools that they need to stand up for what they believe in, whether it's at the legislature, the city council, school board, or really in any way they want to take action.
Okay, so where do you, for your supporters, where do you point to progress here when you're swimming upstream here and Republicans have the say that they do right now? Where do you see progress?
Sure. Well, there's a couple of ways that we view that. One is just by seeing someone become empowered by telling their story. Someone who's just living their life. If they're not getting, if their work isn't being valued enough on the job, they're just doing their best day to day to provide for their family. And if we can connect them with the policies that impact their life and get them engaged in civic engagement and speaking out and empowering them to tell their story in an effective way, that alone is a win. But I think over the long term, we've seen policy shift in this country and in this state, and we have played our role in that. We're not the only organization doing this work. But think about the debate that we've had over the last decade now, a decade plus, over the Affordable Care Act and health care in this country. When that law was passed, it was the #1 objective of the Republican Party to take away health care from every American. They ran on it time after time. When Senator Joni Ernst ran for election the first time, it was repeal and replace, repeal and replace. There has been a nationwide movement and a movement of Iowans and organizations, including ours here, to make that an issue and to stand up for that. That bill was protected. And if you look at the way that Republicans ran the last time, that wasn't even mentioned.
Okay, so talk about minimum wage, because that's something Democrats have talked about for years. There's a Democratic president. Essentially, the Democrats control Congress. Why has that not changed?
Well, that's a great question. I would love to see it changed. I mean, the short answer is that there's a that the Senate has a filibuster, which should probably change. But that absolutely needs to change. It needs to be raised. And Iowans have waited longer than any state in the country for that, because we were ahead of the curve by passing that. I believe it was in 2007, which was 2 years before the federal minimum wage went up to $7.25. And so now our low-wage workers have been waiting even longer than anyone else for that raise.
So are Republicans right on this? Should the marketplace just determine it? We're seeing, it seems like employers can't get away with most of them can't get away with paying $7.25 these days. They've had to really bump it up quite a bit. And the $15 an hour thing is actually some are doing it voluntarily.
Right. Well, if you remember when the $15 an hour debate started, it was several years ago. So now I think $15 an hour probably isn't even enough to live outside of poverty. So you have to keep growing that wage, and I mean, so I would say that they're not right. The minimum wage needs to be set as a floor, because otherwise it's gonna continue to just be stagnant. People are gonna fall further and further behind.
Matt stays for the Insider's Quick Six next, including an idea for all of Iowa's counties.